Welcome to Skip's Outdoors, where we seek to catch a bass a month, every month, and have done so for 17 consecutive years on a crankbait since September 2012. Skip's Outdoors filmed on location, as Carl Huddleston says, where the bass are in the water. Sponsored by Jawjacking Baits, Lenore City, Tennessee. All right, June the 4th, it's time to go jawjacking. We're on Laurel Lake, up at the base of City Dam. We're gonna see if we can't jawjack us a fish with a Skip's jawjacking stick from Dixie Custom and an X model jawjacker. Let's get after it. KR4 Golf Whiskey Delta on the water. Y'all doing any good? Well, that's something. Them kids will enjoy that. Do what? They may be. Well, we got 19 years and 5 months in on this Bass a Month quest, and we're going after 6 months in the 19th year down here on Laurel. Been doing it since September of 2012 on a crankbait, which we're in the middle of. Really, we're in the summer. It got warm early this year, and it ain't really let up. I believe if a man put out some sweet corn in March, he might be eating here in about a week or two. As warm as it's been this year. That's that global warming, that's good for it. I'd rather do that than freeze to death, wouldn't y'all? I've been up here with the water hard before in the winter. That ain't no fun. We're gonna try this jawjacker. We got a X model on. We'll make us a pass through here. Sometimes you get around this running water, you gotta have something that rattles a little bit, and I have to go to a plastic. But we'll see what we can do on the old X model. The X model was developed right here on Laurel Lake. It was built by Rob Cochran. I had some of the first models of it to test, and we named it the X model because nobody was supposed to see it while I was testing it. Funny thing was, I caught a good smallmouth on one, and when I was taking the bait out of its mouth, it hung both trebles in my hand, and had to go to the dock and show some people a bait they weren't supposed to see. Had to give them education lessons on how to be Kevin Van Dam and Gary Klein and get treble hooks out of a fisherman's hand. They thought you had to go to the hospital for that. You don't. All you need is a good stiff piece of braided line. If you fish, you know how that works. Kind of a log down here in the way where I like to fish off this corner. Got a log in the way on the other side. Had a little bit of rain the other week. I actually had quite a bit I think we got 2 or 3 inches in a week. But guys, we're probably 12 inches behind for the year of rain. I ain't never seen nothing like this. I'm 57 years old, going on 58. I've been fishing this lake since it was filled back in 74, I believe it was, 75, whatever year it was filled. And I ain't never seen nothing like this, and I don't think anybody else has either. They might say they have, but I'm pretty sure they haven't. All the stars and the sunspots and all that just ain't aligned for us to get rain this year. Normally this water would be about 9 foot higher than it is right now. It's not quite at winter drawdown, but it's dadgum close. Coming up the lake, run across 3 wake boats down in the river. You bunch of polecats in the Kentucky legislature, I'd like to thank you for that. I'm glad that those out-of-staters get to come down here and knock every deck lid loose on this boat and every other thing loose on this boat on the lake, playing around with their cotton-picking wake boat. I'm glad you saw it to it that the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife couldn't keep them things out of the river where it's too narrow for them to operate and be safe with everybody else that's on the lake. Thank you. And yes, this means you, Tom Odell Smith, Nick Wilson, Robert Stivers, and ever how many other polecats there are up there in Frankfort that all voted for this, every one of them. Kind of makes me want to file to run for state representative. I swore I'd never have anything else to do with politics in my life. I've seen that side of the page and it's ugly. What you want to do, throw your bait right up against that dam and kind of parallel it as much as you can. What I really like to do is hit these eddies where this log is. I can't get in there for the log. If you bring it out of that eddy into the current, a lot of times they fish in there ambushes. Got a Skip's Jawjacking stick, Dixie Custom Rods, D. Wilson over in La Follette. We got several of those. You decide you need one, give me a shout. We'll get you one. These are custom built rods. They were designed to throw balsa crankbaits. They do perfectly fine on plastics if that's what you got a mind to throw. I throw all kinds of things. DD22s, big ends, jawjackers. They've got just the right amount of flex to the rod. That's what we designed it for. We designed it to be able to throw the lighter baits, which is generally a problem with a bait caster. Bait caster wants a heavier bait most of the time. But we designed this rod with enough flex to be able to throw one, be able to load up and throw it. And the amount of flex that it's got in it. It also allows me to use fluorocarbon line, which I think is very critical. For one thing, unlike monofilament, fluorocarbon doesn't sink. Fluorocarbon floats. So you can use a little bit heavier line and still get the same depth that you get with monofilament, and that helps you with your abrasion on rocks and sticks and logs and that kind of thing. Fish teeth, concrete dams, whatever you're rubbing up against, the heavier line takes it a little better. And the fluorocarbon gives you the feel. It would really amaze you the amount of feel I've got on this rig between me and the crankbait. I can feel everything that crankbait does. It hits a shad coming through the water, little old shad about that long, I feel it. I feel the bump. But we ain't looking for shad. Well, we are looking for shad, because that means there's usually fish underneath and bass are feeding. I'm going to try. I always keep a big end on up here. It's a little bit bigger of a bait than a jawjacker. Sometimes that's what they want. Plus it rattles. So where we got a little bit of skim on this water up here at this dam. A little bit of crash coming in. Sometimes that rattle might help them locate the bait. You get up to these low head dams, you got to be very careful. Very careful so you don't get sucked into that current. This rig's a pretty heavy rig. It's 21 foot long. It's a TR21 Triton. Got a 36 volt trolling motor. But you used to have a failure on this trolling motor of some kind. It could suck you in there in a hurry. Right now the water's not too swift off of it, and the current's not all that bad. This water gets high after a good rain or springtime, and that current gets pretty stout over here. Definitely, if I'm fishing up here strong current, I'll wear my life jacket. Also, I frequently leave my outboard running when I'm up here close to this thing in heavy current, just in case. Just leave it idle. That way if something goes bad with the trolling motor, you can always jump back there in the driver's seat and yank her back off of this thing. I got a friend turn one over here. He got a little too close to it one day, and that water come over the side of the boat, rolled it over, and it was bad news. There was a young guy down here last spring drowned, down here pulling around this dam. He got down here in a real small boat, and just no match for the current. You can see right there, I had it in a place where the current was pushing me out. And I got up here so close and it shoved me in, and I backed it up just a little bit. Put me back in the pull-out current instead of the pull-in. You don't want to get caught in that pull-in part. This little end, I can't remember who started that. It might have been Tom Mann Jr. I remember an article on it years ago. It was a pro that started it, and he was taking a Dremel tool to DD22s and sawing the bill off and making them shorter. Had the same size bait with a square bill to go shallower. That's the thing you got to test when you're down here at this dam. These fish move a little bit up and down in the water column. We're sitting in about 18 feet of water, give or take. There's a concrete ledge down here below this roll. You can't see it, it's underwater. Sometimes in the winter it gets shallow enough that you can just barely see it. But right now you can't. It's underwater, but probably about 2 feet. Sometimes they sit on that ledge, sometimes they sit on the edge of it, about 3 or 4 feet down. You just gotta find them. That's your job. Fish's job is to find bait. Your job is to put the bait where the fish is so he can find it. See right there, I got in that current pulling me in. I just right on the edge of it. It's a balancing act when you're up against this dam. I'm gonna get up here real close. I'm gonna make me a couple of casts on that ledge underwater there, just above it. I hit the dam right there, messing my bait up. There it goes. It's right there. What them fish are seeking when they go up and down this water column is oxygen. Particularly right now, as low as this lake is, and the more water that's coming in it, this right here is pretty much all the water that's coming into Laurel Lake right now. Little doodad here is supposed to feed a 6,000 acre lake. There's a few creeks, but they're fairly insignificant, and they're dry too. They ain't had no more rain than this one has. Yep, that done that bait in. Didn't break it, just try something else. That right there's a bait they don't make anymore. That's one of them ledge bombers. I used to have a habit of doing that. I get used to fishing the bait. These companies that sell out Pradco or Pure Fishing or whatever buy them, and they start discontinuing baits at work. And sometimes I had a way of developing contacts in them bait companies. I've got some of the last of them Ledge Buster Bandits there in the barn. We'll get down here and make one more run. Kind of a little bit early in the day trying to do this. About 5 o'clock right now. Sun's kind of high. Them fish may turn on a little bit closer to dark here in about 2 hours. I ain't much of a night fisherman, but This time of year, that's kind of what they do. Tell you what, it's a good thing D. Wayne supplied me with enough Skip's Jawjacking sticks. That there's a little loose. I fresh oiled the bearings on that reel the other day. It got to where it was singing at me. I have to tighten the spool with the knot too. Little old microphone ain't doing too good. Talk to him later. They got a little transmitter up there in that pump house. They'll be interfering with it. Like we got a house deck floating here or something. All kinds of nasty. Right there we got a fish. Right there we got one. Right there she goes. It ain't very big, but that's June. Pull out of here just a bit. We pull out of here and spot lock down. Go back in so you can't get another. It's a little largemouth. He's 12 inches long. That's the way I count him for my bass a month. He's probably about 13, I guess. 13 and a half, 14 maybe. About 13 and a half. All right, it's June. Whoop, about to fall backwards. It's June. We're on Laurel. Guess what we're doing? Jawjacking. 19 years and 6 months in. Jawjacking a bass a month. KR4 Golf Whiskey Delta, this is Skip. Well, that's one. Go in here to see if we can't find us another. Fish, be still. Well, we're 2 fish into June, and these are getting better. KR4 Golf Whiskey Delta, Jawjacking on Laurel Lake, June the 4th, 2026, 19 years and 6 months. Oh. KR4 Golf Whiskey Delta, afloat. This rig don't work too close to City Dam, but I just turned loose about a 4.5 pounder. I'm on Laurel, trying to get my June bass. I done got two consecutive casts. Fixing to line back up on them, throw again. That last one was a dandy. He's about 4.5 pounds, 4.5, something like that. I'm gonna jump back fishing. Talk to you later, Tim. This is KR4 Golf Whiskey Delta. I'm on Laurel Lake afloat.